We live in an age of announcements. Announcements with exoteric messages and esoteric messages. Often they're just the same message actually, but for those who are in on the know, they get the real meaning out of the message and they tend to remember it. For the general population, they hear it and like everything else is dished out by the bucketful out in front of them, because we are inundated with data all the time. Most people just ignore these little announcements and so on and think nothing more about them, because we are given a lot of fake data as well. We always have been given fake data. It's nothing new, and that tends to do the old cry wolf type idea, so you'll ignore a lot of things that are dished out at you from past experience. But we know we're run by a different hands, basically, you might say. The world is run by different orders than the one that you see. And Benjamin Disraeli said the same thing, and many others after him too have said the same thing. That Bernays, for instance, Ed Bernays said it too. He said that a new type, a new system of, he was talking about his own group of marketers and mind manipulators. They were really the power behind everything, and they were indispensable to governments because they could manipulate the minds of millions of people. We're way beyond that now, way beyond it. And the data for manipulating us all is just, it's beyond expanded. It's just massive, the data on how we tick. These little announcements they make are very real, and they mean what they say. They don't have world meetings for different things, different agendas. They don't have them all just so as they can go and, well, mind you, a lot of them will go for that too, their little orgies and things on the side, and they really do, yes. And we pay for all as well. But, and the big 50 course slap up meals and so on. But they really go to make these big plans, and they make sure that they're not doing it for a hobby. They're not doing it thinking, if only we had real power we could implement it. No, they do this to make sure that the plans will get put into effect. They talked again about their big plans for the world. Regardless of these upcoming wars, they talked quite openly about this war that would come with Germany. They had no problems about thinking right through it, or saying we have to put our plans on hold or something. No. These global plans were to go ahead regardless. You've got to understand this is real, and the world's a vastly different system than the one you've been brainwashed to believe exists. There's nothing happening today that wasn't planned a long time ago. Nothing. Right down to the gender bending, all of this stuff. Because if they can get men to forget about women, then they won't have to worry about children and overpopulation again. They really want to drastically reduce the population. Some governments are paying to have this taught on their population, so they won't breed anymore. It's not all by chance, if you think it is. During World War II, you didn't have as much of spying on the public as you have today. And we're being taught it's normal now, except you'll have it forever and ever and ever. Every tyrant's dream was how to monitor and spy on every citizen 24 hours a day. And here it is, before they couldn't do it without technology. And as soon as they get the technology, bang, that's what it's used for. And they trained the public that it's all normal. And the public do adapt to it, think, well, what can they do? I guess they have to do that. You take, for instance, this, you get the World Government Organization, who just had the World Government Summit, another one again, every year. They have it in the United Arab Emirates. And all the top scientists go over there, and all their futurists, and all the big Gates characters, and the rest of them, they all go over there. These people who put themselves up as somehow the Fisher King types, or the benevolent dictator types, who have the right to run our lives that you don't vote for. And that's what really runs the world. It's not your governments. Your governments do what they're told. Your governments literally rubber-stamped the agreements for the European Union. It was handed to them by the Council on Foreign Relations, Royal Institute for International Affairs. That's who drafted it all up. They did the same for NAFTA, for Canada and the States, and rubber-stamped it by your politicians. Private organisations, that's what they are, folks. Just like this World Government Summit. You don't vote for it. Anything that really matters, you don't vote for. You understand that? And what do you vote for? It's a joke anyway what you vote for. You never get what you think you get in. Never. You can't tell everybody and expect them to even care. Most folk don't care. Most folk are self-centered. They really are self-centered. And most folk like their comforts and they like their life to an extent. And therefore they don't want to hear anything negative. And they will classify it as negative. There's only a few people in the world, in any generation, that can stick on the hard track and look at all the unpleasant stuff and point it out for a few more in the next generation to take over and hopefully continue it. That's how it works. Most folk, the reason we're in the mess we're in going to the edge of the precipice is because most folk will look the other way and they want to have a pleasant life. Even with all the disclosures that come from the sources themselves, they're wanting to populate. They know that cancer is skyrocketing in all age groups. There's no concern about it because it's planned that way. We're all going sterile in the West, and that's okay too. And again, most folks say, well, don't look at that, it's unpleasant.